Hi guys, welcome back to My Therapist Said. My name is Stephanie and I am your host. Welcome back to the show, you guys. How the fuck are we feeling? What's going on? Happy fucking Friday, first of all. Happy Friday. How are we feeling? What's the vibe? What's hi? Okay, great. Let's dive in. First of all, today at yoga, I felt like a bad bitch. I literally got into my car and I said, was today your strongest day? And the way I think it might have been, not me having a win. I'm sorry. Is this motherfucking on? Not me having a win on a Friday. I did side crow today. Who the fuck invited this bitch to the party? Not her doing side crow. Like, we're literally in chair pose, and you guys already know, because you guys know you listened to my last episode. I hate chair pose. Chair pose is my least favorite. But I was in chair pose, and she's like, if you want, you could try a side crow. And I was like, I'll dabble. You know what I mean? I'll dabble. So I dabbled, and not my legs being off of the ground. Nope. Not my legs being off the ground. Not my arms being there, holding me up, being like, what? I'm like, what? Like on my hands? What the heck are you talking about? So I did it on the right, and then I was like on the left, question mark. Like, I'm not really sure if I can do this shit again. And I did this shit again. And I fucking did that shit again. Like, the way I'm like, you know what, Stephanie? Like, it's not that you just have to try sometimes, you know? And I mean, that applies to my life. I think about my parents and how they used to always tell me, my mom would tell me I'm so smart, but you don't apply yourself, because I'd be getting F's at school. And it's like, yeah, true. So I try to think about how I can apply myself better. And in yoga, it's essentially just try, you know? So today was good, and I get to chit chat with my cutie friends. I love them so much. Like, literally, they just like know what's going on. So everyone's just like in the locker room, like, hi Steph, like what's happening? And I was like, you guys, I feel like such a loser. I don't have a parent. I don't have partners. Like, I like how I said singular parent, and then I said multiple partners. I do think in the future, like, is an open relationship for me, because the way this is not what I was talking about today, but whatever, here we are. On a Friday. I do think about, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I guess it really depends, but I'm like, an open relationship sounds challenging, because what if they like fall in love with somebody else, and that'd be so fucking sad. And then I'm like, but I don't like the restriction of like monogamy. So I'm just like kind of thinking about that. Why? I just brought it up today. I don't know. It's just like I think what's really on my mind right now is like, I haven't dated in so long, and I'm like, will I ever? Will I ever go back? And I'm not really sure if I'll ever go back. I don't really enjoy it. Do you guys enjoy it? Like, it's a lot of like chit chat. It's a lot of like, it gives job interview. No? Like, I don't really want to meet a man. I don't really want to meet a man. And I definitely don't want to go on a date. Are you kidding me? Over some edamame? Tell me about your parents. Oh, mine are dead. No, thank you. No. I remember one time I went on a date with this guy, and I like said that at sushi. I was like, well, I didn't say my parents. Well, I did probably say my parents are dead, but it's because like it always comes up. Where do your parents live? Heaven. Wait, that's a good answer to that. I mean, I'm not really sure. It depends on what you believe in. They like thought I was going to say frickin' Ohio, and I'm like this. Well, it's a little deeper than that. Anyway, I haven't been on a date in so long. When was the last time? Okay, that guy that I dated, I went to Tahoe with, that was last December. So we're going on, 8 months? Yeah. So it's fine. I'm fine. Bubsy's in the building. I'll show you guys him later. Actually, hold on. Okay, fine. There he is. Cutie boy. He's so adorable. And we're chilling today, guys. We're feeling good. Everything's fine. I killed it at yoga. I love a win every once in a while. You know what I mean? One of my friends was like, the teacher keeps saying your name. It's so cool that you're like doing so well in the front row. And I was like, wow. Thank you to the academy. I have been working hard on this. So that's what's new with me. Okay, you guys, I want to say something about podcasting. I was thinking about my podcast the other day, and I was like, I've been podcasting for because I had the podcast, the one that I told you guys about previous to this one, 4 years, which is wild to me, because I thought about the longest job I've ever had, and I think I maxed out at 2 years. I don't even think I've had a job past... I mean, Nordstrom was 6-7 years, but it was on and off. I think I quit Nordstrom maybe 3 or 4 times. Because remember, what's my favorite hobby? Thank you. Quitting my job. I always be like getting them lined up. And can I say one thing about quitting your job, or not quitting your job, but one thing about like leverage. I used to, when I worked in jobs, I would get other job offers. Like when I'd get like pissed off at like my place of employment, or I'm just like over it, or they're not really giving me more money. What I would do is I would go get another offer, and then I'd bring that offer back to my job, and I'd be like, here's their offer. And then I would leverage it to make more money in my current role. Just an idea. Like the only issue is that if you don't want to actually quit your job and you kind of bring back a job offer and you're like, I have another offer, if the risk is that your current place of employment will be like, we're not going to match that, and then you have to quit. Like that's the downside of it. But in my experience, they want to keep me. And it's a good way to like make more money. Like for example, when I worked at that nonprofit that I loved, I went to get that job offer at the county, which was more money. I brought the job offer back to the job I loved, and then they increased my pay. Like they matched it because they were like, oh, fair. Like if you have that other offer, we'll pay you that. So that's a way that you guys, if you guys are feeling stuck in your roles, I want to like talk about this stuff more because I do get so much engagement online where people are like, what do I do? And like to the therapist that asked me that question, I see you and I wish I had a perfect answer for you, and I don't. But what I do have is I know how to advocate, I know how to negotiate, and I think therapists in the therapist community, we're a little quiet, you know? And I do think that that's like why we get stuck in a lot of these jobs. So the ways to make more money in your current role is to be a little loud, like be a little noisy. There's a lot of ways we can make more money within our current roles. I think the therapist community needs more advocating vibes, like needs more like, no, I'm important. Like you guys, you need me, and the community needs me. Therapists are super important. We need to be paid more, you know? So if you guys have any questions about that, I want to answer those questions. It's like, Emma and I were talking the other day. She's like, a lot of therapists like keep asking like, what do we do? Where do we apply? We're new. Like I'm new to the field. Like, what do I do? And I'm going to fall back on, I had a podcast episode called The Industry Standard, None of Your Business. That episode was really powerful, and it showed how I increased my salary by 100% in 1 year. And what I did was the things I talked about just now. So if you guys want a good episode about advocating for yourself, listen to Industry Standard. That was a good one. It's essentially just like, I don't give a fuck if therapists are underpaid. I'm not going to be underpaid. You know, like that's the vibe, because I'm me. You know what I mean? Like that's how I want you guys to go into these conversations. Just remind yourself who you are. I'm me. I'm a therapist. I have a master's degree. I have all of this experience. Like you're not going to lowball me. You're just not, you know? I think that if we bring more energy like that to the function, me being as professional as I possibly can until I drop my professionalism, because it always happens like that. And I'm like dropping F-bombs and I'm like, fuck, this is an HR meeting, Stephanie, stop saying fuck. And I'm like, I fucking can't, because I'm just like, what the fuck is this pay? And I'm like, but I have been really successful in my roles in these ways. So I want to share this stuff with you. So listen to that episode, you guys, if you want a good episode about just like how to make more money in your current position. Because one thing I do so well is I negotiate. And I think that the therapist community could use more of that. So yeah, because it's like, it's not, I mean, I know a lot of these jobs are like such bummer jobs, like especially when I post the Indeed roles and stuff, and it's like $30 an hour and like a bunch of bullshit like that. But everything's negotiable, guys. And even if they tell you it's not, I mean, at least say it, you know? Like, here's my thing. This is the last thing I'll say about negotiating. Just to say it is enough, you know? Like, even if the role is like capped out at 100K or something, and you're willing to work for that and you want to accept it, but you also feel like it's too low, just say, yeah, I'll accept this, but I want you guys to know I do feel this is a bit low for a master's level clinician with 7 years of experience. You know what I mean? Or like if they're asking you to be, this always happens in the mental health field, when they ask you to be a clinical supervisor because you're like licensed, but technically a clinical supervisor is like a totally separate job, but you're like a director and a supervisor. It's like a weird, I think that sometimes that happens a lot with nonprofits especially. So, I mean, I think just like saying that, like, hey, yeah, I'll accept this director role and I'll do the clinical supervision for you guys, and I'll also be a therapist for you for 100K. But I just want you guys to know that's a lot of responsibility, and this pays a bit on the lower side. You know, like you can accept it, but still let them know. I think planting these seeds and getting people thinking about maybe our whole field is a little undervalued and underpaid, I think is doing the good work, you know? And it's like, it's not that everything's going to change tomorrow, but you guys, I think there's so much power in just like using your voice like that. So I want to encourage you guys to do that more. Like, you are a valuable asset. If you're a therapist and you're working in this field, you are doing you're literally doing the work. You're like the most valuable asset for companies that hire you. So go into the conversation knowing that, you know, like really know that. And I think it will really help our field just be a little more, I mean, I don't know, respected, really. I think I was like reading on LinkedIn the other day, and they were saying how, I don't know a lot about this, so I'm not going to dive into it, but apparently United Healthcare was like adding coaching to the, like to the billing codes. Like essentially like someone can go to a coach and bill their insurance, which, okay, like I don't have like that many, I'm not going to dive into that, but someone commented, because people are really mad, someone commented like, this cheapens our field. And I hear that, you know, I feel like our field gets cheapened a lot. Even when, like I talked about that a director role at 100K, but you also have to be a supervisor, a therapist, and a program director. And for like that sounds like you're hiring a cheap director. You know what I mean? Like it just feels cheap to me when it's like these roles are so big and so important. We're like, not to be dramatic, but I always say this, we're changing people's lives. We're changing the future of humanity, not to be dramatic, but like for real talk, you know, like therapists do so fucking much for not only their clients, but their clients' families and their families and families. Like it's all like the generation. Like there's so much around therapy that I feel like is so misunderstood. Like people are like, oh, it's just like a bunch of chit chat. I'm like, no, it's like a bunch of like changing the world. Sorry. Like we're not going to continue to like cheapen this by just being like, oh, can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? Just because therapists say yes doesn't mean that it's right or it's fair. So I do want to encourage you guys, all of you, if anyone's listening, I mean, I'm talking to therapists because this is mostly my audience on Instagram and on the podcast, but you guys, if you're not a therapist, Bubsy, what are we doing for? What are you doing? Why rare right now? Okay, I'll drop it. Moving on. One thing about podcasting I wanted to say. So I've had my longest role that I've ever had was working at Nordstrom, but I quit 3 times. So I was like, what is it about podcasting that's kept me here? Because I've been podcasting for 4 years, which is wild, wild, wild. I started my first pod back in 2023. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 years. I lied about the 4-year thing. Here we go again. Here she goes again. 3 years. And it's the longest job I've actually had. And I think about it because it's like not a job, it's more of a hobby. But at the same time, it's like the commitment to this is so interesting to me because I'm not bored. And I was thinking the other day about why am I not bored? And really it's because I'm always learning, you know, I'm always learning new ways to video. I'm always learning like how to do clips. Like I'm learning about editing. I'm learning about what the fuck I even want to say on the mic for an hour. Like I learn about so much. Bubsy, what? He said, rah. I learn so much when I'm podcasting and it brings me so much joy. And I think it's because every day feels different to me because this like keeps me so interested. And like when I have worked 9 to 5s, I always quit after like 2 years. And I think what it is I get bored because I'm a quick learner. And once I understand the system and I see what's happening here, I'm like, oh, change this, change that. And then I'm like, okay, like now what? You know, like I really need like a project always. So I was saying, I literally wrote it down. I said like, why do I hate the 9 to 5? And then I said, because we're fucking exhausted because we did this yesterday. Like boring, right? Like the 9 to 5 can be so mundane. The 9 to 5 can be so like, oh, I'm doing this again. I'm doing this again. I remember when I worked at Sephora, I would like look at this one little spot in this like little beauty studio. And I looked at this one little sign and I would be greeting at the front and I would be there day in and day out. I remember looking at that sign and thinking like, I'm here so much. I just did this yesterday. Like, it's so much repetitive. Like you just keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. And I remember at Sephora, this was like when I was 18, but I remember thinking like, I can't keep doing the same thing every day. Hi, welcome to Sephora. Is there anything I can help you with? Like we need a color match over by Makeup Forever. Bubsy, I'm going to need you to stop. I'm on the mic. And what happened at Sephora is I told them that I've always been like this, you guys, the way I've never changed. I told them, I said, I'm getting bored. I need to do something else. So they hired me as an operations manager and I worked overnights. Why? Because I couldn't stand the fucking 9 to 5. I was like, I can't continue to tell you guys that we need a color match and Makeup Forever. Like I'm gonna lose my mind. And the operations manager at the time was like, we'll hire you, you'll work with me, and we'll do overnight. And I used to work at I used to work 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. I kind of low-key liked it. I liked it because it was different. I liked it because it like shifted my thinking. And that's what I mean when I say like I get bored with jobs. I just need change. I just need to be like, okay, what's next? And Sephora like offered that to me. And I remember like choosing an overnight over like a 9 to 5 is a crazy choice with hours. But you guys, I was so happy. I was like, I love this. Like I got to like redo all of the, what's it called? Like, oh my gosh, my brain. This is so old now. Like in the front, there was like signage, but there was like a word for that. I would like do updates too for like I don't remember these words anymore, but I would essentially like put up the new signs, put up like stickers, whatever like the new vibe is. I would like do that overnight. And I remember I used to get migraines because the lights were so bright. It was because it's a weird thing. Like you eat lunch at like 2:00 in the morning. It was very odd, but I did that for a long time. And then, yeah, that's like how I keep myself interested. So when I think about podcasting, I'm like, this is like one of the longest jobs I've had. Like I really committed to this, like 3 years in, it's really wild to think like I'm still doing it and I still feel so new at it. And the worst thing about it that I was thinking about is like, the only way to get better is like keep doing it. And like, how embarrassing, like not me having to show up again. Like what? Like I have all of these ones that are like my hair looks funny or the color is off or I was in a bad mood crying on the mic again. And it's like, what? You just have to like keep showing up. Like I literally, my sister one time told me like it's so cringe and she's so right. Like it really is. And like the only way to get through the cringe is absolutely through it. So it's just it's a weird hobby / job that I'm just like proud of myself for sticking through it. So I'm loving it. How are we liking it? Are we happy? Here's one intention I want to set. I'm going to talk about the podcast more on my Instagram. I don't really talk about it a lot because I'm kind of not embarrassed, but I've just like kind of creatively separated the two. Like my Instagram is for advocating, is for therapist issues, is for like things like that. My podcast is more just like fun chit chat, but I want to bring more people to the pod. I'm just saying this all out loud so I can like hold myself accountable. So I think I'm going to like talk more about the pod on the Instagram, especially now that I'm not working as a therapist anymore. Like I'm always going to care about therapist issues because those are my girls, gender inclusive always. Those are my girls. So of course I'm going to talk about therapist issues, whether I'm working as a therapist or not. I still feel like you guys may need me more money. I still feel like it's so bullshit that insurance denies your claims at 30% higher than physical health. Please. Like I'll never stop doing that. So anyway, I'm just kind of like resetting intention. Can I say one thing about mental health symptoms? I was thinking about my hypervigilance the other day, and I was thinking about how I look at hypervigilance like a symptom of trauma. And I was just wondering, I'm just asking you guys, I'm just going to ask you guys a question. Do you think we could look at our mental health symptoms as personality traits instead? I'm literally just asking. I'm not, okay, my first thought, because of course it comes to the haters come to my mind. My first thought, they're not haters, but like the people that are like, hate that. Those are haters. Yeah, those are haters. Are like, you're dismissing how serious the symptoms are. That's what I could see people saying. But for me, like, yes, my hypervigilance, Bubsy, I need you to stop, Bubba. He's so excited today. My hypervigilance for me, it's yes, it's a symptom of trauma, but when I think of myself having a bunch of symptoms, I feel sick. And having mental health condition is not a sickness. Like it for sure is. I was watching Vanderpump yesterday and Stassi said she wants to have kids eventually. And then she was like, but I can't have kids because I have a really serious medical condition where I date shitty men. And I was watching it and I was like, that's so funny. And also she's not that far off. Like it's not a medical condition to date shitty men. Like it's a lot of it is like past trauma and like why we choose our partners, right? So I started thinking about that more and I was like, I mean, she's not even wrong. Like PTSD and like all of that is a serious medical condition, and like dating shitty men like could be something that could be seen as a medical condition. Like it sounds kind of funny, but like it's really real. Like our mental health is our health, guys, like for sure. So, but then I started thinking about symptoms and how we name that. And I don't like thinking that I have so many symptoms. Like it makes me really feel like kind of bad about myself. Like I don't know. There's another one that really bothers me about myself is compulsions from my OCD. And like I have compulsions to check social media, even though I know I don't want to, or it will upset me, or I know I'm already hit my capacity with everyone talking bad about therapists online. And I just like can't, I can't not check it. Like what I had, okay, I'm going to be really honest with you. In the past 2 days, I just deleted my apps. Like there's no TikTok, no Instagram on my phone. Like I need to just take a break because I don't have any control over my compulsions. And it sucks because like literally, was it yesterday morning? Damn, I feel like it's so long ago now. Yeah, yesterday morning it was like 7:55. And the day before on TikTok, people were being kind of mean to me, whatever. And I still said what I fucking said, and I'll continue to say what I have to fucking say. So if you want to be mean or not, I really don't give a fuck. So I'm here to stay, but I will delete the apps because I'm too weak right now. And I feel like my skin tingling, like I just feel sensitive, I just feel like sensitive to it. And yesterday morning I was like, Steph, don't check your TikTok. People are being kind of mean. People are disagreeing. Let them talk, And what do? I grab my phone and I literally had my phone in my hand and I'm like, you guys, I feel like I had no control. It's the worst feeling in the world. Like compulsions are fucking terrible. And I'm like, don't do it. And what do? I open it up. I type T, I grab TikTok, I click on it and I scroll to see all the comments that are just going to make me feel so sad. And then what do? I cried. It's like, it's fucking 7 a.m. 70. Like, did you have to do that? So because I don't have any control, I have to delete the app sometimes. And luckily I have Emma to help me and she'll always keep the social media going. But I really struggle with that. My OCD is such a bitch with that. And, so I'm trying to like reframe this though in my mind and be like, okay, compulsions, yes, it's a symptom of OCD. Can we look at it more like a personality trait? Like I have a personality trait where I just have to know, I just have to know. Like if I have my phone in my hand, I know there's noise online. I have to know, I have to look. Like it just makes me feel a little better about myself. Same thing with hypervigilance. Like I just kind of feel like, okay, I'm looking around the room a lot. Okay, I like to sit by the door. Like it's just a symptom of who I am. It's not like a symptom. It's not like a mental health. It's not like a condition. Like I don't really want to name it as that anymore. And I don't mean this to like dismiss how serious mental health conditions are because they really are. But for me, I'm just trying because I'm dually diagnosed and I feel like that's a lot to carry. And I feel like I'm really sick sometimes. And damn, that's so real. Like yesterday, I really felt super sick. Like when I picked up my phone and I knew I wasn't going to be able to not do the compulsion, it made me feel so out of control, sick. Like I felt sad for myself. Like I can't believe you set this intent. Like you know it's going to upset you. Like this is not the place for you right now. You're not in the right mindset. Yet I grabbed my phone. I did it anyway. Like it just feels so shitty. So I'm just trying to like reframe everything and like it's a personality trait. Like she just has to know sometimes. And how I manage that is I delete the apps if I need to take a break. I can always pick them back up and I can always like engage when I want. But I don't know, you guys. I just feel like what if we like rename it? And with my OCD, like my how much I've never talked about him, but my biological dad when I was growing up, he would always say he's a clean freak. And I kind of, and I am too. And why can't I label myself as that instead of like saying everything's OCD related? I kind of feel like I'm just trying to distance myself from my diagnosis so I can just feel better. Like it's just a personality trait. I always have to have the labels facing forward so the world doesn't fall apart. Like it's just a trait. It's not a symptom. Like I'm really just like trying with myself. So I'm just sharing that to say like, it's okay to like try to reframe this stuff. Like carrying a diagnosis and sometimes people have multiple like me, it hurts. It's a lot. Like I'm not going to lie and act like being dually diagnosed with addiction and OCD is not a lot. Like it's a lot to carry. It's a lot. I feel bad about it. Especially because we like still moralize addiction so much. Someone wrote on my YouTube, and I think this comment was meant to be supportive, but I had that video I had that episode where I was talking about how I don't know how to celebrate myself with my addiction because I've been clean off fentanyl for 3 years. I don't like the word clean. I've been off of fentanyl for 3 years and I want to celebrate my time in recovery from opiates and I can't because I feel like it's such a bare minimum thing to just like survive. So I just like don't celebrate it at all and I don't really talk about it much. And someone like commented and they're like, well, you can celebrate doing the bare minimum, not self-destructing. I was like, not me doing the bare fucking minimum. Like, I think it was meant to be supportive, but it made me feel really bad, if I'm being honest. Because I feel like I try so hard. I'm going to talk about this for a second. And if you read that comment, thank you for the comment. I just feel conflicted about it. And thank you for writing in though. And shout out to you for they also shared that like they have a relationship with drugs and stuff too. So thank you for writing it. And also it makes me feel like that's so sad. And it makes me feel like addicts are so like to be labeled as to like, oh, you're just doing the bare minimum as I survive addiction. It just feels like shit. Like, I feel like the world just looks different from an addict lens, and we're always judged and we're always like feeling like we're doing the bare minimum. Like, when we're really not. Like, I'm just fighting a diagnosis. It's a medical condition to have addiction. And like, when I think about like when I have to think about like, I don't know, when I think about recovering from opiates and going through withdrawal, I'm like, damn, that's bare minimum. Like, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, to go through withdrawal multiple times. Oh, I mean, I did opiates for like 15 years. Like, to go through that all like so many fucking times. Even when I think about my relationship with alcohol, going through hangovers so many times and trying to get myself back after fucking partying and doing that shit again. I mean, I had issues. I'm a polysubstance user. I've used drugs so fucking much, guys. Like, I really have. And I've had to recover from so many choices and decisions I've made, and it's been so fucking hard. Like, there were times where I didn't think I was going to survive. There were times that I didn't want to survive, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I was just like, this is not worth it. This is so hard. Like, I actually can't live without all these drugs I've been using, you know? I want to feel proud of myself, but it is kind of a bare minimum thing to do. You know, like, oh, you stopped using the drug that almost killed you? Question mark? Good job. We don't really know. Like, that's what I feel like it's hard when you're trying to celebrate yourself in the world of addiction, because the world of addiction is so black and white. Like, you're either completely sober or you're not. And because I smoke weed at nighttime, like now I'm labeled as a bare minimum in recovery. Like, that makes me feel really bad about myself. I don't feel bare minimum. You know, I really don't. Yes, to be able to just like make choices to survive, I guess is bare minimum. But for some people, that's a win. And I do feel like even to the person that wrote that, like, could we celebrate a little higher than that? You know, like I used to use fentanyl every day. Like, it's not easy to kick that shit. It's really fucking not. And I don't know. I think too, what's under this for me is like, when I did use drugs, I was with so many people that also use drugs. So when you decide to kick it, you also have to stop relationships with so many people. Like, my absolute best friend from high school all the way into our like later 20s. Yeah, like later 20s, she was I used with her. And to have a friendship of like 15 years and using drugs most of the time, it's really hard to kick the drug and the relationship. Like, it's not easy. And there's no, like, it's fucking sad as shit. Like, I lost a whole friend group, you know? Like, I continue to lose friends through this process. I had a really close friend too. Like, him and I used to talk on the phone for like an hour every single day. We've been friends since I met him when we were bartending when I was in my master's program. So I've known him for like maybe 6-7 years now. And like, we used to party a lot together. And when I stopped partying, our relationship stopped. And I tried to keep it up, and I tried to like text him and call him, but it just doesn't feel the same. Like, the friendship is just not the same. So kicking drugs is not just kicking drugs. It's also stopping relationships with people that you really loved. And I don't think we should discredit it and be like, oh, well, it's not, you didn't really love them because you were on drugs. I don't believe that. I think that two things can be true. Like, these can be real friends and we can use substances together. So I don't agree with that. And I just had to say that. Like, I think it's okay to just sell yourself like, no, it's not the bare, like, I don't know, bare minimum just feels mean. And I'm not looking to like bully myself and be like, oh, because that's how I already feel. That's how I was explaining it. Like, I was saying, like, I can't celebrate this because it feels like bare minimum. So I'm not going to celebrate the bare minimum. I actually think it's worth celebrating like my survival and being like, no, I'm a bad bitch. You know, like, I'm not going to celebrate, oh, it's a bare minimum. Because now that I have the comment, I feel really different about it, where I'm like, I actually kind of want to celebrate more. I almost want to like take my power back a little bit and be like, no, I'm actually a bad bitch for saving my own life. Like, I had a medical condition that was not my fucking fault. Addiction is not your fault. Can I say it again for those in the back? Addiction is not your fault. It's a medical condition. It impacts so many fucking people, and it's not your fucking fault. I want to say it one more time. Like, it's not your fault. And when we get judged like it is our fault, it fucking sucks. It's literally a diagnosis, guys. It could happen to anybody. And when it happens to you, when you survive that, you're not a bare minimum survivor. No, you're a survivor. We can celebrate that. Like, I'm not killing myself every day. Like that's it. I don't know. I feel like maybe this, like, that comment actually inspired me to celebrate myself more, because I just want to be more proud of myself for like, no, you did survive, girl. And maybe if I'm more proud of myself, you guys will be feel, maybe I'll get comments that are more supportive. And yeah, that's probably true. And I don't want this to be like I'm like trying to attack that comment, because that actually was like, it came from a supportive place. I could tell I was celebrating 0. They were like, you can celebrate bare minimum. So they were trying to support. But I'm like, now that I got that, I feel more inspired to be like, no, like I want to celebrate like my survival. I want to celebrate like, girl, you literally saved your own life. Like there really were nights I think so many opiate users could relate to this. Like there were so many nights that I was falling asleep and I was like, you might die. And I didn't care. I didn't care at all. And to be out of that is something that I feel incredibly proud of. Like I go to bed and I don't feel like you might die. Like that's huge. And I think any level of recovery should be celebrated. Can I say one thing about Jaclyn Hill? Jaclyn Hill has publicly said that she has struggles with alcohol publicly. She's been very honest about her relationship with alcohol and how she struggles so much. She's been talking about it for like probably like 5 or 6 years now, for a really long time. And recently she had made a post about her survival. Like she recovered from her addiction to alcohol, and she said that she like drinks on occasion. And now like that's her new relationship with alcohol. And the comment section, you guys, was insane. Like I get it that we can't tell addicts you can use sometimes. That's just not something we do. You can't. If an addict is an addict, okay? But everyone's relationships with addiction is different. So if Jaclyn can drink a drink every once in a while, but it's not wrecking her life anymore, she's still recovering. She's still in recovery. Like we can't, like the comments were literally like, you saying that you drink on occasion is going to kill people. That's what people were saying. You guys, first of all, have some accountability for like how, like, yes, I hear you, but at the same time, like we are adults. Like don't blame someone on the internet if you're going to struggle with substances. That's not her fault. But I do think that the addiction community is so black and white, and it does make us in the middle feel like shit. Like I live in the gray area. So does Jaclyn Hill. You know, like we're not fully sober, but we're not killing ourselves anymore. Why can't we celebrate that? I'll never understand why we can't celebrate that. I just don't. And I think that I'm really happy that I'm speaking about this. Good job, Stephanie. Like what, why not? I don't understand. It's so dark outside right now. Sorry, guys. The lighting's weird. But I mean, okay, I was watching the Travis Barker. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I was watching the Travis Barker documentary the other day. It was so incredible. First of all, he's just like, he's chosen. I don't know. There's just like certain people in this world that I'm like, you were chosen. And it was really sad. His plane crash, oh my God, it gives me the chills. Oh my God, I just can't. That's so fucking scary. Like, oh my God, I like whole body. Like I'm just, oh my gosh. It's so scary. His story was incredible that he told. And when he talked about DJ AM, he had been sober for 10 years. And he said DJ AM was on the plane with Travis Barker when the plane crashed. DJ AM survived it with Travis. His injuries were not as severe as Travis's. DJ AM goes back to doing shows for closely after, starts flying again, all of these things. Apparently, what Travis said was that he went to a therapist, and the therapist told DJ AM, who had been in recovery for 10 years, you can take a Xanax because you've been in a plane crash. Like, that's fine. And what happened is DJ AM immediately after that overdosed. He started using drugs again, and like that, he fucking died. And this is so sad. So I get it. Like therapist, we have a really big issue in the therapist community where people don't understand addiction. I'm just going to be honest about that. Like there is a lack of education around addiction in the therapist community, at least when I was in school. Like there was no conversation around addiction really at all. There was one class that we took 2 Saturdays and that was it. Like not even a full semester of classes. It was 2 Saturdays and they were like showing us the most random drugs that I, as a poly drug user, have never even heard of, like crocodile or something, like weird drugs that like bath salts, like just like stuff that like, why are we learning about this? Is this just like for shock value or trying to teach us something? It was really weird. And I remember all the therapists in my class, we're like, this is such a weird class. Like, we're not learning anything about addiction. And so they didn't teach us anything. And I do hear too in the community, people being like, oh, I don't treat addiction. And like, it's not my thing. And it's like, yeah, but I think everyone needs to be more informed about it, because it really impacts like so many people. Like, even if it's not impacting your client, it could be impacting their family member. And we have to have a good understanding of addiction, understanding people's recovery, understanding harm reduction. Like, we need to understand all this as clinicians. And my heart breaks when I think about that therapist telling DJ M that it's okay to take a Xanax when he had already been sober for 10 years. Like, it's not okay to take a Xanax if you've been sober for 10 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just makes me feel so sad. But there are clinicians, I think, that don't understand addiction, and they look at this like, oh, he has been in a plane accident, like he's gonna fly again. Like, yeah, sure, take this prescribed medication, but he didn't. You have to think about, he's been in recovery. He obviously can't, and he was fully sober, so he obviously can't. I think it's so important that clinicians get more comfortable talking about addiction and understanding addiction. Like, this is a huge issue within our field. We can't just ignore it. The best thing I can compare it to is, like, I'm not a trauma specialist. Like, I don't claim to be a trauma specialist. I treat PTSD, but I'm not a specialist by any means. And I know when I need to refer out for trauma. And that's like me going into being a therapist and being like, oh, I don't treat trauma. Like, addiction, I think, is the same way. We can't just say that, guys. Like, all of us need to be very well versed in it. Like, you don't have to have addiction be your specialty like me. That is my space, but it's because I have so much experience, personal and professional, that I can treat addiction primarily. But I just think it's really important that all therapists really try to learn more about addiction, because it is impacting your clients. It's just like when I don't specialize in trauma, but I can treat trauma. You know what I mean? Like, I think addiction's the same way. So my heart broke when I watched that. And I also started thinking, like, there is a gap in the therapist community where we don't talk about addiction enough. We just don't. And you don't have to treat it primarily, but you do need to understand what it's like. Stages of change, people's recovery, addiction is different for everybody, harm reduction. We need to understand all of these things to be able to treat anybody, like truly anybody. We got to get more comfortable talking about addiction, guys. Like, I just think it's still such a moralized thing when I'm like, it's a medical diagnosis. Like, why are we acting like addicts are bad people? Addicts have diagnosis just like an anxiety diagnosis or depression. It's not any different than that. And it does make me feel so, I don't know. I just like feel like the community of clinicians, the mental health community, I think, could do a little better. And when I watched that, I really thought that. And I caught it at school. Like, at school, I was like, what do you mean you don't treat addiction? Everyone should be able to treat addiction. Again, not as a specialty, but they should be able to understand it and know it, and then refer out if it's really serious. You at least need to have a solid understanding of like what recovery means to each individual person, where people's limits are. And everyone is super like different. I don't know. I think it's just such a nuanced thing that I think we just need to talk about the nuance more and take the black and white thinking out of sobriety and recovery. Addiction is like one of the most complex diagnoses I've ever seen. Truly, it really is, because there's a lot of like shame and guilt, and people don't really bring it up sometimes, but it comes out in all their behaviors and the relationships. It like addiction impacts everything, just like trauma does. Like, I think about trauma and addiction being the root of mental health diagnoses. Like, my assistant, when I was a director, my assistant, her and I used to talk about how we believe the DSM should have like the just two roots of where these diagnoses come from, these maladaptive skills that form. A lot of it is because of trauma or addiction or both. Like, that's the root as we saw it. And we just like would talk about that, because I never feel like the root is anxiety. I don't think the root is OCD. It's like, no, the addiction or the trauma created those symptoms. And now that's what the diagnosis that they carry. Does that make sense? Is this too clinical? Just feeling clinical today in my freaking high bun. Not me throwing in a little therapist thing every once in a while. How did we get here? Stop bullying Jaclyn Hill, you guys. As an addict, substances are always in the forefront of our minds, which is another thing I think we need to be kinder to people who struggle with substances, because you guys, the way we think about it every single day we're thinking about drugs, okay? Whether we think about, wow, I didn't do it today, good job, or remember when I did that? It's like the same. And I don't know that everyone's like me, but this is at least how I am, and how a lot of my clients have shared with me, and the stories I've heard. It's like we think about it every fucking day. Every day I'm like, good job not doing that. You know what I mean? And it's like it's a debilitating diagnosis. It really impacts our minds. We need you guys to be nicer to us. Like, if someone's telling you that they're doing better, just let them be better. You know, I really want to protect Jacqueline in this. It makes me feel so sad that people are like, you're killing people by saying that you drink on occasion. It's like, no, she's not, you guys. Like, she's not telling you, you guys can do that. She's saying her experience. Let addicts share their experiences. God damn. Stop jumping down their necks and being like, you're not doing it right. Like, stop that. Like, it's such a projection. Like, you get to decide your relationship with substances. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying this is how I've survived my addiction. Let me be. You know, like it's the first thing I fucking think about when I wake up in the morning. I'm a freaking fentanyl addict. What? Me? And then I'm like, damn, 3 years, good job, girl. Like it's a freaking Tuesday, and this is what the things I think about. So we have to be kinder to like. We're already going through a mental circus on a daily basis. The least you guys could do is just the people that are not the normies of the world. Can you guys just be like, wow, good job? Would it kill you to be like, good job for changing your relationship with substances? The only people that are celebrated are the fully sober people. And I agree, they need the celebration. Support that community. I love you guys. I think you're so incredible for choosing that. Good job. There's no part of me that doesn't want to celebrate that. I just also think that people that have changed or are living in the gray area, they also deserve celebration. We also survived. Just because our story looks a little different does not mean we're failures. And it's not bare minimum. No. The way I did not plan on talking about this today. Addiction? That's not on the list, guys. What was on my list? How did we get here? Oh, I wanted to talk about how my mental health is more traits, not symptoms. I mean, I kind of did it. Oh, yeah, and how the podcast is embarrassing. Okay, final. Thanks for listening to me. You guys, I cannot stop going to bed at 7 p.m. I was talking to my friend this morning because she always texts me like later in the day and she's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. She's in my neighborhood, come hang. And I never do because it's always at like 5:30 or 6. And you guys, this is so embarrassing. And as I get ready for bed at 6 p.m., I think to myself, this is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done. Like I used to be a 2 a.m. party like animal. I would fucking be home at fucking 5. I can go. And now I'm going to bed at 6 p.m. And like the way I'm like doing dishes, I have the same routine. I wipe down my countertops. I make sure there's the laundry's done, all those things. And I start all of that. I started at like 6:30. Like I start winding down at 6:30 and I am not kidding you. I am in bed by 7:30. Like I cannot stop going to bed at 7:30. And I can't tell. Okay. Part of it, not to make this sound sad, but part of it is like, I want the day to be over because I'm done. You know, like I've had enough. Like I'm just like, sometimes, you know, when you're just like kind of done, like you're just like, I think that's good. Like that's how I really feel around 7. And I kind of want the day to end. So I just like go to bed early. But the issue is that I also wake up so early because I was telling her this morning because she always texts me and then I'm always like, I can't because I'm literally sleeping. And I told her this morning, I said, because she was like talking about my life and stuff. And I told her, I was like, I'm doing good. But like my self-worth is kind of low. Like the way I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and think like you're such a loser. And she started laughing and she was like, you're probably waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you go to bed at 7. Which valid, but I'm also like, I don't want to go to bed late. Like the way you guys, this is so funny, but I can't even tell you the last time I went to bed and it was dark out. I just can't stop going to bed so early. And what do I do? Like, do I need to go to bed later? What do you guys do? What time do you guys go to bed? Can someone answer me? Type it in the comments on YouTube, DM me on Instagram. My therapist said pod. I don't care where you put it. Spotify, I don't care. But I need to know, what time do you guys go to bed? And then what time do you wake up? Because I wake up at 4:45. And this morning, I'm not going to tell you because I'm so embarrassed, but I woke up at 3:45. 3:44. I look at my phone and I was like, fuck, 3:44. Like, what am I gonna, I already know I'm not gonna be able to fall back asleep. So what did I do? I fucking laid there for an hour. I laid there for an hour until 4:45. My eyes were, this was horrible. My eyes were literally open when the alarm went off. Like, I hate that. Hate to see it. I don't want to be that person that can't fucking sleep and wakes up at 3:45 in the morning. How am I ever gonna have friends? But I just like can't change this about myself and it's driving me fucking nuts. But I'm also like, I kind of love it. But because I'm also like, you've recovered from your party era. Thank God. You know, there's so much of this that I want to celebrate. It sounds stupid, but I mean, I used to work and like I'd work so late. I mean, when I worked at Nordstrom, I'd get off at like 9:30, 10. When I worked at the fondue restaurant, I'd get off at midnight, 1 sometimes, and I'd still be partying after. And like I just like used to really run this like pretty long day schedule like all the time. And part of me feels like I'm like healing from all of that. Like it was exhausting to work multiple jobs and still have time to party. Like it was a lot. And like I never went to yoga every single day. So like part of me feels like I want to celebrate this chapter to be like, well, you're choosing different and that's amazing. But then the other part of me is like, but is it so different now that like you're never going to see your friends again? Because going to bed at 7 is pretty early, girl. And waking up at 3:45 is not relatable. Like no one else does that. So why are you doing that? You know what I mean? Because then on the weekends, what time do I wake up? Like 6, which is really annoying. It's fine if I want to like take Bubsy out because then I can take him out to like the hills. Oh my God, you guys, I saw a coyote the other day in the hills. It was so fucking scary. It was so big. I thought it was a dog. Like I kept hearing this like rustling to my left when I was walking at like 7 and the sun was coming up. It was like so nice and so cutie and there was nobody there. And I was so excited to just like be in the trees and just have it be quiet. And all of a sudden I hear this like rustle on my left. And I was like, it's probably just birds because usually it is. And then I kept walking for like 10 minutes and I kept hearing it. It was almost like moving with me, it sounded like. And I get to where I was going like 20 minutes in and I turn around and I see this huge coyote walk out of the side of out of the brush and like stare at me. It was in the path. And I was just like looking at it like, what the fuck? And Bubs is like obviously not paying attention because Bubs like doesn't. And I was like, oh my God. So I just like stood there and eventually it just walked away. But I think it was like, there's a lot of goats right now because the goats are going to work and taking care of all of the brush and grass and stuff. So the goats were at work and I think the coyotes are maybe out because of the goats. So I told my bestie that always hikes up there. I sent her a voice memo. I said, be careful because there's coyotes. And I think it's because of the freaking goats. So I haven't been hiking with Bubs that much lately because I'm scared. And she texted me the other day and said her fiance, so fancy, saw a huge rattlesnake and she sent me a picture. It's freaking huge, guys, like an anaconda. Wait, one more thing about snakes. Why? Because this is a mental health podcast about snakes, right? Okay. You guys, that freaking show on HBO, what's it called? Monsters of God or something. It's about reptiles and reptile people. I'm obsessed with the show. But here's the deal. I don't want to watch it once a week and then I have to wait for a new episode. If I'm watching a show about snakes, I want to get it in. You know what I mean? Like it's like that Chimp Crazy show. I loved that show. But I'm not about to wait week by week for you to tell me more about chimps. I want to know right now and this afternoon the whole story and then I'm going to peace out. So I watched a couple episodes of the reptile people and then like they're like new episode and I'm like, I'm not going to turn on new episode. Like I'm kind of being like resistant to it because I'm just like, just tell me what happens. Like, but it's crazy. Like they're smuggling drugs with snakes. Which is kind of a good idea, but I'm not condoning. No, absolutely not. But I'm like, that's kind of smart. They're putting it in with like freaking vipers. Like, who's going to open a box of vipers? Is that a snake? Wait, what's a viper? It's a car. Is it a snake? A viper. I want to say yes. Oh my God, that bird is so cute. So that's what's new with me, guys. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. What's going on with you guys? Me and Bubsy have no plans. No plans. Just doing social media content editing tomorrow. And then I need to do a voiceover. And I think I'm going to go to yoga tomorrow. All my besties are going to be there. When I said bye to my friend today, she's so cute because I told her that I feel like a loser at 3 o'clock in the morning. And she leaves yoga a little early to go home. And like I was like in my downward dog and she was about rolling up her mat and she was leaving and she like just like bent down and she was like, you're doing great. Like my heart, she's so sweet. Like I feel like my little yoga community is like so supportive. And I don't know, I just feel so loved by them. Like we're just like, it's always just so much like support. It's always just like laughing, just talking about our weeks, just like what happens in our lives, you know? And like, I don't know, I just feel super blessed to be a part of it. And I'm proud of myself too. And like, I'm also, getting stronger. Hello, thank you. Like it does feel good and it does not feel bare minimum. Do you guys see my makeup today? Little blue eyeliner situation. Okay. I love you guys so fucking much. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Bubsy. He was kind of making a lot of dinosaur noises today, but it's fine. Hopefully it's not on the track. Okay, you guys, I love you so fucking much. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!